Thanks for tuning into the NBA here on 2K Sports, a Sunday broadcast of the NBA. It's going to be the Houston Rockets up against.
And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. First, for Houston, manning the backcourt, Jeremy Lin along with James Harden. And at center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Chandler Parsons, and it's Ashik in at the 4 spot. And for the Kings, the guards, Vasquez and McLemore. And the big fella inside out of the University of Kentucky, the unbelievably gifted and powerful pivot man, DeMarcus Cousins. Then it's Mbamute, and it's Thompson in at the 4 spot. Working on Ashik. Thompson passes to Vasquez. A three-pointer is right on target. Vasquez has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
A lot was made about the Kings in their home last year, but it wasn't about how well are they playing at home. It was about where is their home going to be next season. The Kings are staying in Sacramento, but they played like it might be their last hurrah.
Just 5 to shoot. Lin dishes to Howard. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And that's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
Here's Vasquez, following the basket by Dwight Howard. Here's Cousins.
And the most striking thing about him, Kevin, is just how strong he is. He plays the game so physically. May not be the most skilled guy, but he plays with a burning passion.
And, you know, he's also a tough finisher, Steve. There's very little a defender can do if he gets to within arm's length of the basket.
For Houston, they've gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. It's Harden with the drive. It's stolen by McLemore. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. And you go back to the Kings at home last year, 20-21 record, and it was easy to see just how much tougher a team they were in this building. You know, Steve, they really looked like a team that could compete with anyone at any time.
Well, this community really rallied behind the franchise, and there was a lot of worry that maybe this was the farewell tour for the Kings fans and the players. And they played their hearts out last year. You got to give them a lot of credit for really fighting, particularly down the stretch when things looked grim.
Now here's Lin. Clock at 6. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Dwight Howard is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and, you know, when he's healthy, he can really anchor a defense inside with his rebounding and shot blocking. A real force in the paint.
And Clark, I know for Howard, you said when he's right. But the last few seasons, Steve, I think that's become an issue. Injuries have been a problem.
For sure, his production has waned. He had the disc issue in his back that's numbed out one of his legs last year. Had to have back surgery. So, you know, you think about everything else, the torn labrum in his shoulder. He's taken a pounding over the years. Not a good foul shooter, so people really hit him hard and force him to the line. You wonder if maybe that has something to do with the injuries.
Now Lin, after the missed 3 from McLemore. A nice shot by Lin. Sacramento's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. 1:43 left in the first quarter. Knocks it loose. Dishes to Harden. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's on Mbamute.
Guys, it didn't take long for Harden to show that he could carry a team. The first game of last season, he made a statement in his first game as a Rocket, putting up a monster stat line.
And Harden and Clark, you just talked about this, wasting no time last season announcing his arrival as a franchise player. Opening night, 37 points. 45 points in the second game of the season. Steve, what a start he had in Houston.
And how about the stretch, Kevin, in the middle of the year where he scored 25 or more points in 14 straight games. That is an all-time Rockets record. So Harden getting his opportunity to be a star. He's making the most of it.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Kevin McHale. As far as key factors coming into this game, he said that defense is their focus, and he added, our shot blocking really gives us that anchor inside, and the foundation we need to be successful at that end of the floor. That's something we can count on, and of course, the rest of our defensive execution is just as important, if not more so. Kevin, it's always defense first.
Thanks, Doris. And as Doris provided the details, guys, the way they plan to attack defensively will be key early on, won't it?
Yeah, and early is the key word there, Kevin. If they can string together some stops right away, I think it'll really set the tone.
Which is just what they're going to be after, guys. They'd love to turn this into a defensive battle.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Martinez is checked in for Howard. And it's Garcia in for Chandler Parsons. Count that one.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Harden against Thornton. Rebound by the Kings. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Stolen by Harden. And here comes Harden, leading the fast break. And it's John Salmons with the rebound.
You know, typically, guys, he has the body control to finish when he's in that tight. I'm not sure what happened there.
Lets it go with the 3. And that one's good. Here's Harden. No luck. And still a close game as the first quarter. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Sacramento?
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Landry kicks to Thomas. Makes it off the glass. Thomas got the first basket of the second quarter for the Kings.
Man, a gaping hole in the defense that time, and he didn't waste any time getting through it.
Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
Garcia with the ball. Now guarded by Thornton. Harden the pass to Beverly. They get it back. Smith blocked. The feed to Thornton. Passes it to Thomas. Inside the lane. Smith with the defensive effort. And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets weren't nearly as troublesome to teams last year when they found themselves in the away locker room. Mostly, Steve, it came down to their offense not having quite as much punch.
Well, most teams don't score as much on the road as they do at home. And for the Rockets, 5 points differential between home and away. It's pretty dramatic. And I think that was one of the reasons why we saw them struggle when they left Houston and tried to get a win.
Well, the business of the NBA in pretty good stead. The Kings sold back in May for a record price of $525 million, and the Seattle group had offered even more. Team value is certainly on the rise around the league. Better arenas, more lucrative TV contracts. Part of the reason that's the case.
Here's Beverly. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Rejected by Thornton. And Garcia kicks to Beverly. 5 to shoot. Second chance shot. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, for Dwight Howard, a perfect fit with head coach Kevin McHale. So often, head coaches are former point guards, but in McHale, a Hall of Fame power forward. Howard has a coach he can quite literally see eye to eye with. And McHale is one of the all-time great post-up scorers. And for Dwight Howard, he said that was the biggest reason for his decision to come to Houston, saying, quote, "I felt he could really help me develop in the post." Guys, back to you.
Don't see many great back-to-the-basket big men these days, Doris. He's one of the best, certainly. And back to the bidding war for the Kings with the great offer from the Seattle group. Steve, do you think there's a chance the league could expand to Seattle?
I think so, especially with that tremendous offer that the Seattle group put forward. And now the new CBA, it's made it much more favorable for the owners. I think in the next few years, we will see at least one expansion team, maybe two.
It's hauled in by the Kings. And he lobs it up. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Harden dishes to Beverly. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup. Beverly's got 4 points this quarter.
Boy, after having a tough time in the first, he's managed to turn it around nicely this quarter.
Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Houston.
After having a strangely off year from behind the arc in the 2011-12 season, John Salmon's got back to his usual sharp shooting ways last year, guys. He shot over 37% from long range.
Now, they're not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
Beverly, the pass to Garcia. Harden, beyond the arc. No good.
He slipped into quite a funk here, Clark.
I think that's a good word to describe it. I mean, the basket is looking awfully small to him at the moment.
Well, now they're just going to town out.
Yeah, you'd think these defenders would have done a little more to put a stop to that stuff, Kevin, but so far, no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
Well, and for Salmons, a starter last season in Sacramento, played almost as much as Tyreke Evans.
And that might be a stretch for Salmons at this point in his career. He's a decent passer and defender, but he shot under 40% from the field. You know, he's gotten older. He's been a very solid player throughout his career, but I think the older legs are starting to catch up.
Here's Thornton, and it's sent back by Beverly. Out of bounds, Kings ball as Sacramento keeps possession. Vasquez up top, defended by Lynn. Vasquez kicks to Cousins, and fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot two. That's on Dwight Howard.
Well, that's the best possible play there. I mean, that was an easy two, so instead foul him, make him shoot free throws.
That's right, a smart, strong foul there. No and ones and no dunks.
11 seconds left to play here in the half. Looking to end the run, and Harden, and the nice bucket inside. Harden's got 5 points so far.
The soft finger roll is just one of the many finishing moves he has in his bag of shot making.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Glad you're with us for the nighttime edition of the Halftime Show. Out in Sacramento, the Kings are taking care of business against Houston. They've benefited from
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. If you're just tuning in, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to get going once more. The players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated with some Gatorade. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. It's been quite a game for John Salmons.
Yeah, and you know the numbers aren't that gaudy when you look at the box score. It's more about his energy and his impact.
You know, sometimes the stats can be misleading, but he certainly has been a big factor.
Now, here is Harden after Jeremy Lin's miss. And Howard with the stuff.
Well, James Harden, clearly one of the most potent offensive threats in the game. Can do it all. Pass, shoot with range, get to the rim. He led the league in free throw attempts last season with over 10 a game.
Kicks to Mba Amute. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, gentlemen, it is now the third team in as many years for Dwight Howard, but he feels as though he's found the right place with the Rockets. Howard said, quote, "We've got a lot of young players and the opportunity to grow. Financially, I'm leaving money on the table, leaving a storied franchise, but this is an opportunity for me to write my own story." And Kevin, he felt this team gave him the best opportunity to win a championship. And with a talented core, including James Harden, it's hard to argue.
Well, I tend to agree with him. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, you mentioned Harden. Great at drawing fouls. He stays low. He holds the ball low. And when he brings it up, if the defender reaches, he just guides his arms up under theirs to draw the contact. It's a very clever move.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players over the years do it. Kevin Durant has done it. Tim Duncan before that. Going way back, Sam Perkins used to make that move. It's really a tricky play, and it's tough to guard, but when you perfect it offensively, it's really a weapon.
Vasquez can't get it to go. Rockets trail by 8. Harden outside. A rebound by Thompson. Thompson's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
You know, the Rockets did a lot to make over their backcourt last season as they brought in two big names in Jeremy Lin and James Harden. And that's not always an easy adjustment. It took a little time for both of those guys to figure out how to coexist in the pick-and-roll offense.
And we may have an injury here. That does not look good.
And you see a player have to come out of a game like this. I mean, you just hope for the best.
That's exactly right. You do hope for the best. Cross your fingers, say a prayer, and hope it's nothing major. We'll see what the update is here shortly.
And here are the Rockets now. It's a 10-point game. Lin with it. Now defended by McLemore. Out of bounds. Rockets ball as Houston keeps possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
Isaiah Thomas is checked in for the Kings. Harden's shot is good. And Clark, as you said, it took some time for this Houston backcourt to learn how to play with each other, but that is the case for any duo. Eventually, Steve, they found a happier medium, and that initiated some great offense between them.
Well, they were much more effective down the stretch last season, Kevin, and I thought it really showed in the way Lin and Harden kind of played off of each other. So, you know, a lot of teams, they seem to want to have that second option for bringing the ball up or for attacking, and it is very effective to have a couple of guys who can each attack and create.
Parsons, pass to Smith, stolen by Landry. Now here's Vasquez, guarded by Harden. Landry no good. Rockets trail by 11. It's Harden with the drive, and he's going up for the alley-oop. No good from Howard.
That would have been a nice alley-oop there.
Oh, you got to love the effort, though. Almost showtime.
A nice shot by Lin. Lin's got 4 points this quarter. 56 seconds left here in the third quarter. Harden against Thomas. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. The Rockets making a switch here. 46 seconds left in the third quarter. Tries to keep it alive. McLemore with the ball. He has 5. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys. So that's a free basket right there.
You got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And the Rockets making a change here. Howard's checked in. Harden kicks to Lin. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Howard with the stuff.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed.
All of the above.
Outside, Lin. The dish now to Harden. Back to Lin. High, arcing shot. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Kings lead by 9. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. And now we'll get perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Kings.
Their defense has been outstanding, Kevin, closing out on shots, blocking a lot of them as well.
You know, one other area they're doing well in is steals. I mean, they've knocked the ball loose a number of times and been able to track it down after the fact.
Francisco Garcia, he's checked in for James Harden. Poke loose. And here we go. Thompson heading to the hoop. Garcia goes in. Thompson with the block. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball. Carl Landry's checked in for Jason Thompson. Right side, Lin. Terrific assist. A nice finish. Solid play all around.
You gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
Vasquez kicks to Cousins. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
How about that play? Great body control. Still manages to finish the play despite the contact.
You know, when that whistle blows, you're not done. Get greedy and find a way to knock it down.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. And Bahamute comes in for John Salmons. And it's Thornton in for McLemore.
You take a look at the offense for the Kings last season. There are some things to build on here, guys. 4th in the NBA in fast break points, top 4 in points in the paint. Those are good numbers to build your offensive foundation around.
And here are the Kings now. Vasquez kicks to Mbamute. He passes to Cousins. Working on Howard. And stolen by Garcia. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Beverly dishes to Garcia. Rejected by Mbamute. He feeds it to Vasquez. Sacramento moving it around. Thornton passes to Cousins. Some solid defense there from Garcia. But for the Kings, I think Coach Mike Malone will try to get them to play a little more unselfishly, Steve, especially at the offensive end.
Yeah, they had a team last year that just seemed to be jacking up shots anytime they could get one up individually. They were among the lowest in the league in assists as a team. A lot of isolation basketball. It was not pretty to watch.
Harden against Landry. And Carl Landry picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Chandler Parsons, he's checked in for Houston. And so here is Houston. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. Offensive rebound, a Sheik. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket.
Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
Vasquez kicks to Mbamute. Feeds it to Cousins. Ball's knocked loose, and that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession, and the Rockets making a change here. Lynn's checked in. Here's McLemore, and once again off the mark by Sacramento. Parsons dishes to Harden. Here's Hushit. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Pretty bad defense, letting the offense get right to the rim, but smart play to foul once he was there.
But you know what's going to happen. They sent a message right there. Nothing easy inside.
And he is unable to get the second one.
Only down 2 now, but that miss might hurt. If they don't get a stop, it's back to a 2-possession game.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he gets them both, and it's a 4-point ballgame.
And that makes it a 2-possession game now. Those could turn out to be vital free throws.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Kevin McHale had some advice for the team in that last break. He told them, guys, we're getting bogged down in the half court. Let's get out and run, see what's available in early offense. If there's nothing there, we can always back it out and run our sets. Good advice, Kevin.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Then the pass to Harden. He dishes it to Usher. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Lynn. Andrew grabs the miss. Kings leading now by 6. Vasquez kicks to Mbamute. Now the pass to Lynn. Dishes it to Mbamute. McLemore, the pass to Vasquez. 9 feet out, and Cousins gets it to go. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
And with that basket, you'd have to think this lead is safe.
Well, if not 100% safe, certainly 95%.
He kicks it to Vasquez. Off target from 3-point range. And Clark, maybe at this point, not much of a chance for a comeback.
I don't think it's going to happen, partner.
Yeah, pretty unlikely to dig out of this hole, but you can't think that way. You got to just play it possession by possession.
Well, this one is winding down now. Sacramento can run out the clock. And it's off from 3-point range. Lets the three fly. Houston gets it back. Outside, Lynn. The tray. Knocks down the trifecta. Now a timeout called by Sacramento. What's your take, guys?
Well, they're obviously going to win, but this timeout may be about some substitutions.
Well, they may just want to make sure they don't do anything really foolish at the very end here.
So the Kings win it. Both teams